Now for the track guide. Guys, before starting, if you want to improve at a quicker pace, check out my sim racing course in the video description. Now going into the track guide itself, for turn 1 my reference for braking is the end of this banner here on the left side, but what's more important is that you really want to use all the track, and all the track here means using this part to the left side of the white line. There's a bit of an opening of the tarmac right before the grass. You really want to put your tire on that tarmac on the left side of the white line. This will give you a better radius into the corner, and therefore you will be able to carry a couple more kph. Now the braking is at this point, so right where this yellow part of the banner stops appearing from your side, I'm applying the brake. And what's important to notice in this corner is that you want a late apex. So you don't want to, in a way, shoot the car into this curb here on the right side. You don't want to aim at that curb yet. You have to imagine that this corner is way longer and you want to cut the curb a lot later. So what I'm doing is now, it's super important with the braking. Notice that I'm still holding the brakes here, still braking, still holding the brakes. 7%, 8, 6, still trail braking. I'm aiming at this part right here now. So you see, I'm just waiting up until I see this, let's say, dirtiest part on the grass, because that's my apex point around there. So I will cut this curb. You see, the moment that I put the throttle in is the moment that I can clearly see the ending of the curb. So look, at this point in time I'm applying the throttle and I can see the ending of the curb. If you can't see the last part of the red curb and then you're pushing the throttle, it's probably way too early and you will run out of track. So super important to get close with to the grass, to have a late throttle application here, but then 0-100 just holding the throttle. And notice also in my brake trace that this braking took a long time. I didn't brake hard, but it took a long time. So I use the brakes mostly to rotate the car and not to just overslow it. And this is the main thing about this corner. You just need to keep some weight on the front tires, then you will have this sweet apex and you can use all this part without getting the off track. If your right tires are still on the white line here, you won't take the off track, so use all this part, bring the car quickly to the right side. And now for this corner, this is the Foster layout, so here is the big change in the lap. What I'm doing is, when I'm going downhill, there's a point where there's a dip, like right now, there's a dip in the track. When I feel this dip, I'm dropping the throttle, I'm applying 2% on the brakes, look, to 4%, 1, and then I'm going back on throttle. So it's a small lift. In that lift, just add a bit of braking. If you will add too much braking, maybe don't add it at all. Like if you can control into the 5%, then you can do it. But if you find yourself like maybe you're not yet experienced in those lower ranges and you apply, let's say 15%, then not do it at all. Like braking hard here is not the way to go. You really have to just do a lift, or if you're able to add just a small brake. And I'm aiming at this red curb. When I'm going back on throttle right now, I'm aiming to cut this red curb, keeping the throttle pinned. And at this point in time, my car is all the way on the right side. That's fine. You don't want to be all the way on the left, because the braking here, it's possible to happen diagonally. This is how you gain time. Because if you will brake more, so you will be more aligned on the left while going into this right-hander, you will lose 0.2 of a second. 0.2 of a second just like that, because you're not pushing enough speed into this corner, and you won't be able to make up for that time lost in that corner by being just a tiny bit earlier aligned there. So it's better to go all the way to the right side, in my opinion. And then whenever you're gonna brake, you will brake after you point the car towards the left. So you will first turn to the left side to point the car diagonally, then you will straighten up the wheel while you do the braking. Look, when I'm braking now, my steering wheel is straight. So you will have the most amount of grip when you have 0 degrees of steering angle, because that's why when you're using all the grip for the braking itself. So right now I'm pointing at this curb, I'm braking hard, I'm going to 97, something like that. And in terms of the braking reference, just before the change in the color of the tarmac. So look, at this point in time I'm applying the brake. So I'm looking at this change of color, and let's say 1 car length, I'm applying the brakes from this color change. I'm braking diagonally up until I get to here, then I'm downshifting to first gear for this corner, still trail braking just very closely to the curb on the right side. You're gonna press the throttle, but don't press it at the curb or after the curb. You have to go on the gas earlier than the curb, because you have a lot of space here to play with. You have this space around here. So generally what you want to do into this corner to nail it, you first of all have to be all the way on the left here, even kiss this curb with your left tires. That's gonna give you even a larger radius. Then whenever you're gonna trail brake in first gear, and you have to downshift very quickly to first gear, you have to downshift as quickly as the car will allow you. So you will have to spam the downshifts to make sure you get to first gear before getting at the curb. And then when you're trail braking into lower percentages like this, you will smash the throttle 0-100. You won't modulate. You won't go 0, 20, 25, 30, 25, 35, 30 again or something like that. You'll just go 0-100 straight up, and you will try to get as close as you can with this curve without going on top of it. If you go on top of it, the car will bounce, and then it will push the car all the way to the outside, and you will have to drop the throttle. So avoid hitting it, just get very close, 0-100 really quickly, and then just keep it pinned like this. You will know you did a good job when you're kissing this grass near the white line. If you still have space here, then you could have carried a couple more speed. Now this one will be flat out, just get close to this white line and this red and white curb. Don't steer more than you need. So don't try to push your right tires to hit the curb, because if you do that, here on the exit you won't reach this curb. So what will happen is that you will use the steering wheel more to keep the car on a tighter line, and because of that you will scrub speed. You will lose speed, because whenever you're turning the wheels, the car can go at its quickest speed in a straight line. So every steering angle that you add, it's a detriment for speed. So you have to find the minimum amount of steering angle that you can use in this section. And this will be just flat up until our 2 corners, like the double apex, this one here. Now the reference for braking again is before the change of color in the tarmac. It's 1 car length or so before the change, like right now I'm braking. And when you're doing it, make sure you're having a couple of degrees of steering angle towards the right side. Make sure you're pointing the car first towards the right, and then you're braking. Don't brake in a straight line like this. Don't think about making this corner in phases. Like, don't think about making it a square. Don't think about, okay, I'm gonna brake straight, I'm gonna go here, from here I'm gonna turn and then turn again. No, it has to be one fluid motion like this. And you prepare it by just, in a way, pointing the car towards the right, then brake. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Notice I'm not braking too hard, 30%, 29, but I'm trail braking a lot in this corner because I want to get very close to the white and red curb like this. I want to keep a tight line in this section. So at this point in time, when I'm in the middle of the curb, very close to the curb, I don't want the car to track out in the center of the track. I will just cover longer distance. Then I'm gonna smash the throttle 0-100, and notice that again on the second apex, I'm again super close with my right tire hitting the curb. That's what you want. You're gonna use all the track on the exit. And now for the last corner. This corner can be tricky. It wasn't my best in this lap, but my reference for braking is in the middle of this 22 Marshall post, the green Marshall post, and the arrow here. So in the middle of those two references, I'm applying the brakes like right now. You want to brake here in a straight line, you don't want to turn, you want to keep the car in a straight line because this is a heavy braking zone. Then when you go here on the right side, you have to turn, you will have more grip on the inside, but this grip will fade away from you when you go uphill. So this elevation change has different levels of grip, more grip here, and you have to take advantage of it by, you know, just turning more the steering wheel, putting the power down. But you don't want to apex way too early, so you want to cut this curve a bit later. Think about this picture, let me show you. This picture right here, you see the track is going uphill. If you will apex, meaning if you will push the throttle way earlier than the middle, like something I'm doing right now, you will have trouble on the exit. So it's better here to delay a bit the throttle application up until you get more uphill, like right now, to delay it a bit more the moment that you push the throttle, and to cut a bit more this curve, because then when you go on the exit, you see I had to do a lot of corrections. I had to drop the throttle and the steering wheel, and I still struggle around here, so there's 1/10 lost for sure. You need just a later apex, go later on the throttle, cut more on the inside, and then you will use all the curve here. And in short, that's the track guide. Check the course if you want to improve at a quicker pace, and I'm looking forward to see you in the next one. Bye bye.